Real quick, I want to talk about all these people who are saying that, if Canelo loses, it's going to be bad for boxing, and boxing is over with, and boxing this and boxing that, blah, 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 blah. We need him to win. Please, 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 please. This is what I want to say to those people that are saying boxing is going to be in a bad state if Canelo doesn't pull off this fight. I don't think you know what you're saying, but it reveals a lot. Okay. First of all, why would you say that just because Crawford beats him, it's going to be bad for boxing? Why? It's not like Canelo Alvarez doesn't have a loss already. So what particularly makes this a bad move if he loses? And do you know, by saying that, you're saying indirectly that you knew that this is a fight that he wasn't supposed to take. But most importantly, no people like this can complain about the state of what they think boxing will be in if Terrence Crawford win, if at one point in time you was not advocating for David Benavidez to get a fight with Canelo Alvarez. That don't make no sense. Okay? That don't make no sense. Because in one instance, you have never advocated for David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez. Yet, you're talking about if he loses to Terrence Crawford, it's going to be bad for boxing. What does that let you know? That Canelo's doing something that he's not supposed to be doing in the first place. Okay? And if you really cared about boxing like you cared about boxing, you'd have got behind David Benavidez to fight Canelo Alvarez. Then you wouldn't be in a situation where you feel like if he loses, it's going to be the end of boxing. No, it's not going to be end of boxing. It's going to be end of Mexican boxing. But Canelo's already destroyed the reputation of Mexican fighters, but y'all allowed him to do that. I've spoke on that. Okay? Canelo's also not passing the torch, but you guys are okay with that. Okay, so you guys are in a bad position. Yes, if he loses, no, it look bad on your end. It don't look bad on boxing. How? But if you're concerned that it looks bad on boxing, then maybe you should have been going for the David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez fight, but you didn't want it. What you don't understand is this fight is a result of y'all not wanting him to fight David Benavidez. So now you fear David Benavidez because you say you fear the bigger guy and the smaller guy. Let me say that again. You fear the quote unquote bigger guy and the smaller guy. So where's the safe haven for you? But most importantly, you can't say what happened to boxing and how much we need Canelo to win because he's doing something that he's not supposed to fucking do. To add on top of that, we wouldn't give nobody credit for fighting nobody coming up 3 weight classes. That's just facts. Nobody in the world. Nobody. But we got to give Canelo this type of credit because he's a pansy. But this is the result of letting Canelo take the ship down, you know what I'm saying, with the crew. That's all that's happening. The Mexican fighters don't have the reputation that they do anymore. You guys get a reputation of cheating and not doing nothing in boxing. Because name me a Latino fighter that's really doing something or trying to do something besides Davis. I'm talking about seriously. None of them really do it. Okay? So your status in this game is a joke. You're worried about your status, not boxing. You have been worried about boxing for years the way you've been carrying on letting Canelo do what he's supposed to do. There's supposed to be a passing of the torch process going on over here. It's supposed to be David Benavidez. And you guys are acting like David Benavidez ain't going to be the only thing that y'all got left. He is. Because you guys have never invested in trying to build somebody else. Or maybe you don't have enough talent enough to build somebody else. But you definitely try to artificially create some. But they still can't even sustain to that. You guys are taking steroids and still losing. So I don't want to hear about what's bad for boxing if you wasn't advocating for David Benavidez. That don't make no sense. You afraid of the big guy and the little guy. Come on now, man. Let's just get real. But you ain't got no business opening your mouth talking about you worried about boxing, but you allowed him to go this fucking route so he can avoid another fighter that you wanted him to avoid. I just can't understand how y'all stuck in the middle like PB&J, fearing the big and the guy below you. That's crazy. But you most definitely can't say what'll take down boxing and stuff like that. You guys don't care about boxing. Look what y'all do to Jake Paul. Shut up. There ain't no integrity in boxing. Get out of here. Stop acting like y'all care. Y'all don't care. Y'all allowed this clown show to go on. Keep in mind, Turkey Al-Sheikh had to talk Canelo out of fighting Jake Paul. So that's that right there. But yeah, you can't say that. if you've never been advocating for David Benavidez? You can't say that. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like it'll be the end of boxing if Canelo loses to David? No, right? But you feel that way with Crawford. All right, so that lets you know the route that you should have took. But I'm going to tell you something about Canelo Alvarez. While his fan base is this paranoid, as much as concern that y'all have with being beat by a black fighter, let me tell you something about Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez rather lose to a black fighter than another Mexican. You ain't peeped that yet? Come on, you had to peek up on it. Come on. The truth is, Canelo don't want to pass it to another Mexican. That's the truth. And y'all don't want him to pass it because how Canelo looks. Y'all love how Canelo looks because y'all obsessed. I mean, I don't even got to finish it. That's how obsessed y'all are. Yeah, but Canelo don't want to lose to no Mexican. Canelo will let lose to a brother before he lose to a Mexican. I think that has something to do with his childhood and him growing up and probably how y'all treated him because of the way he looked. I don't think he want to pass it. He don't want to pass. If you're all about Mexico, then how can you miss the passing of the ceremony with David Benavidez if you all about Mexico and Mexicans? You're like, no, I don't want to fight Mexicans because I represent Mexico and stuff like that. No, that's putting your Mexican brother on. Hey, your Mexican brothers need paydays too. Canelo don't want no other Mexican to ride off his steam. He wants y'all to have to get it from the ground up. You ain't figured that out about Canelo yet. So the same people you fear him losing to is a person he'd rather lose to than losing to somebody like you. Yeah, I know it's fucked up, but y'all ass backwards like that, but this is just the truth. But I'm sick of y'all with this fucking worry, man. The entire boxing world got this fucking worry. If y'all was this fucking worried, you should have said what it is. This is pussy. This is some coward shit. You're doing some weak. No, bro. You got to fight David Benavidez, but you wanted to protect him. Well, you protected his ass into another ass whooping that'll be just as embarrassing as if he lost. Me personally, if I'm Mexican, I'm going to opt for David Benavidez. I'd rather he lose to him than to lose to fucking Crawford. Now, I bet you a whole bunch of Mexicans agreeing with me on that shit. Yeah. But your insecure nature has put you in a position where you fear him losing to the little guy, and you guys shouldn't even be showing that. All this confidence you had, Canelo's this, Canelo, and this is the biggest thing. Everybody in the boxing world is banking on Terrence Crawford not being able to take one of Canelo's shots. That's what y'all banking is. Y'all not banking up. Notice they ain't banking it off skill. They ain't banking it off none of that. This is banked upon you guys are hoping Terrence Crawford frame can't withstand the power that Canelo Alvarez is throwing at him. And that's the only thing y'all hoping? That's the only thing y'all hoping? You talk about a man that is a complete dog who still has his chip on his shoulder, who still thinks he has something to prove. You know what I'm saying? And understands everything fully, what's on the line, how people feel about him, who wants him to feel, and why they want him to feel. Crawford got all that in the back of his mind. And yet you're hoping, I'm hoping Canelo can throw a punch that can hurt him, and because he's the bigger guy and stuff like that. But y'all looking at everything but the fucking psychology and the mentality. And that's one of the biggest flaws of a lot of these fucking trainers out here. This is why Customano, top of the line to me, because he understood that. And if you're looking at it from a psychological standpoint, even on that standpoint, Canelo don't stand a freaking chance. Do you really see Canelo breaking Terrence Crawford? Do you think Canelo can break Terrence Crawford? Do you think Terrence Crawford is going to relent? Do you think Terrence Crawford is going to lie down? Do you think anything that he's going to take from Crawford, he's not going to take from Crawford without him losing something his damn self? You got to know what you're dealing with. You got to know the mentality of the man. It's not just a fighter. It's not just a skill. It's not just the anatomy. The brain is the biggest part. And real boxers will tell you, this is a mental game, player. It's a mental game. And in that aspect, these fools have already lost because they have shown every sign of crack and weakness in their morale and their so-called belief in Canelo Alvarez. The one thing that we got out of this entire thing is we know that y'all belief in him is artificial.